This is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. Tonight on the program, no advice against Dengvaxia. Former President Noynoy Aquino speaks up about the vaccine controversy. An extended holiday, government orders work and class suspensions on 2 more days. And from Despacito to Xander Ford, here's what Filipinos are searching for on Google. Thanks for joining us. I'm Ruth Cabal, sitting in for Pia Ontiveros. We begin with a Senate investigation on the dengue vaccine Dengvaxia. Today, top officials of the former administration and no less than former President Noynoy Aquino himself faced the Blue Ribbon Committee to explain their roles in the vaccine's purchase. Let's bring in our AC Nicholas live from the Senate. AC, so how did the former president explain his role in the process?
Ruth, despite recent controversy over an immunization program carried out during his administration, former President Noynoy Aquino seemed unfazed and appeared calm as he testified in the hearing on dengue vaccine Dengvaxia. In his opening statement, the former president clarified that no one brought up potential risks of the Dengvaxia drug when his government was planning to use it in a national immunization program. When he approved the purchase of the vaccine, Aquino said that he understood that Dengvaxia was found to be safe by experts and that it had undergone complete testing and other required processes, including clinical research, FDA review, and post-market safety monitoring.
Ko lang po, bago nagdesisyon ng gobyerno sa Dengvaxia, habang nagdedesisyon at maski pagkatapos magdesisyon, wala pong nagparating sa akin ng pagtutol sa naturang bakuna. Kaya natin inilunsad ito sa National Capital Region, Calabarzon at Central Luzon. Dahil ayon sa datos ng DOH, ito po ang 3 pinaka-apektadong mga rehiyon noong 2015 kaugnay ng dengue.
The former president confirmed he did meet with the drug maker Sanofi Pasteur in Paris on December 1, 2015 on the sidelines of the UN Climate Change Conference. Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chair Senator Dick Gordon then asked Aquino to explain why the SARO, or the Special Allotment Release Order for the purchase of Dengvaxia, was issued just weeks after the said meeting, when it normally takes longer. The SARO is a document issued by the Budget Department for funded projects. Aquino said he wanted to be able to implement the immunization program as soon as possible. And to do this, his government needed to utilize government savings for the year 2015, rather than wait until the next budget cycle to get the funds.
If we do not do this at this point in time, you are practically saying that the first implementation of this vaccine will be in 2017, because it will be for the next budget cycle.
Mr. President, let me assure you that I'm not even hinting at anything in terms of far as your integrity. I'm just stating facts here na talagang magdadala ng tanong na dapat paliwanag ng mga kumukuha nitong fondong ito para sa Dengvaxia.
We're just explaining, Mr. Chairman,
yes,
from our perspective, the choice is simple. We can implement it at this point in time for the protection, or wait at least a year as a minimum and expose our people to a risk that could have been prevented because of this vaccine.
Now, in the beginning of the hearing, Attorney Ferdinand Topacio, counsel for the Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption, said Aquino and some of his cabinet secretaries should be charged with plunder over the vaccine mess, though he clarified that VACC will not be filing a complaint against Aquino and that this was merely a position paper. Aquino was not given a chance to respond to this during the hearing, though Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon spoke up and said that Topacio brought his recommendation to the wrong forum. Ruth?
So, AC, after the former president explained his role in the vaccine program, did he say whether or not he had any regrets in his decision to allow the purchase of Dengvaxia?
after the hearing, we did get the chance to interview the former president. And during his media briefing, he said that we did ask him if he regrets that decision. And he says that he does not regret it. And he believes that he did what he had to do at the time. For him, it's simple. There was a health problem and he was presented with a solution, so he took it. Now, about his testimony, the former president is thankful that he was at least given the chance to clarify some things, particularly when he decided to go for Dengvaxia. He also appealed to the Duterte administration to avoid causing panic and instead focus on providing the public with the information they need on the matter. We also were able to ask him about the Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption's position that he should be charged over the issue. And he said that based on the statement, it's obvious that the VACC does not have evidence to back its allegations. Back to you.
AC Nichols there reporting from the Senate. President Rodrigo Duterte is not blaming anyone for the Dengvaxia controversy for now. Malacanang says the president believes the Aquino administration's purchase of the vaccine was done in good faith. President Duterte says his son Sebastian got sick with dengue when he was younger, and he would not want other children to suffer the same. Here's the president in his own words.
If I were the president and there's a vaccine that was already paid for, and the studies show, according to the clinical studies of that company, I as president would ako rin, sabihin ko, you implement it if it would save lives. But ignorante man sila. I can only inquire and hope that everything will give us the truth. Because anything here in this planet requires truth. The first instance na sabihin mo na ang totoo para wala ka ng problema.
President Duterte adds he is not the type to file cases against former presidents, but he says he wants the investigations on the Dengvaxia issue to continue. During the hearing, some experts say the vaccine is, quote, a bad science to begin with. Our senior correspondent, Cecil Lardizabal, tells us what authorities have done during the process.
The Senate Blue Ribbon Committee wants to know if the administration of former President Benigno Aquino III may have been too hasty in the process of buying the controversial Dengvaxia vaccine. Experts from the National Academy of Science and Technology who were present at the hearing said that the dengue vaccine was, quote, bad science, unquote, to begin with.
Bad science.
Science.
In our opinion, that's the root of the problem. There were already signals of harm, and it was ignored.
Sanofi Pastore's Vice President in Asia Pacific, Thomas Triumph, was quick to deny the claim.
This information was communicated as part of the clinical trial assessment, which was communicated to everybody, published in the Lancet or in the New England Journal of Medicine.
In the light of so-called bad science surrounding Dengvaxia, Senate Blue Ribbon Committee Chair Richard Gordon grilled former Health Secretary Janet Garin on allegations that she negotiated a lower cost for the vaccine.
Your Honor, I strongly deny that. I did not negotiate with the price, but Sanofi came to the Philippines and presented their proposal to the government.
In 2016, Duterte appointee Pauline Ubial took Garin's place. Ubial says she herself was not so convinced about the vaccine, but she was pressured by Congress.
There was a lot of pressure from Congress to actually expand it to other parts of the country. WHO position paper was already out.
But the World Health Organization reiterates that it merely issues guidelines that countries may or may not refer to.
The decision about whether to introduce a new vaccine is a decision for governments, not for WHO. WHO's role is to provide the best possible advice based on the available evidence at the time.
Earlier, the Formulary Executive Council told the Senate hearing that they were pressured to recommend the use of the vaccine and that a budget to procure it had been allocated even as the clinical tests were still ongoing. Former Budget Secretary Butch Abad defended his decision to allocate 3.5 billion pesos from 14.5 billion pesos of savings from the 2014 to 2015 budget.
Is it normal for DBM to utilize the MPBF as a source of savings at the end of the year? It is, Mr. Chairman. What we call the appropriation item or the bahay is the expanded program for immunization. That should
That's
suffice.
the whole program itself.
Yes, yes. That should suffice as the item that is deficient but existing that can be augmented as required by the Constitution, Mr. Chair.
The former president, who met with Sanofi on December 1, 2015, and approved the funding before that year ended, said that if the 3.5 billion pesos had not been approved, the government would have to look for another source of revenue for the dengue vaccine program. Health Department expert Dr. Anthony Liachon was quick to defend Aquino.
If the bad science or wrong information has been fed to the president, how can you blame the president if the president was fed with bad science or wrong information?
Cecil Ardizabal, CNN Philippines.
Also in the hearing, former Health Secretary Pauline Obial reveals that the husband of former Health Secretary Janet Garin, Congressman Oscar Richard Garin Jr., was one of the congressmen who allegedly pressured her during a congressional inquiry to purchase more vaccines. Obial read the minutes of the hearing, quoting Congressman Garin. But Senator Gordon said Obial's claim does not sound like pressuring. Garin also defended her husband by saying that Congressman Garin does not have any interest on the issue. Garin said her husband was just well aware of the need for a dengue vaccine, especially in highly endemic areas. After Paulo Avellino sits down with CNN Philippines, he shares his journey in making the movie Ang Larawan. And holidays are longer for government workers and some students. Will tell you why. You're watching Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. Hello, we're live on Facebook. Hello to those who are watching us. We have some reactions to our story on former President Noynoy Aquino, who earlier faced the Senate probe on the Dengvaxia dengue vaccine. Arian Vicente says it's good to know that he also cares about our citizens, especially in these times of moral crisis. Michael Ramos Tanyada says it seems like since then, siya ay naloloko mismo ng kanyang mga napagkatiwalaan. Meanwhile, Merce Tulen says, dapat lang panagutan mo lahat yan. We'd also like to say hi to others who are watching us. Si Koy Asanji Giyang. Meron din siyang reaction. Sabi niya, anyone who has good intentions and has an honest mistake beyond his control should have fair judgment. Nandiyan din si Giovanni Conde naman, who's watching from Eastern Samar. Jazz Banyas Prado. Si Ramil Basilad also naman is watching from Singapore. Emiliano Custodio Tipa is watching from Riyadh. We have more stories coming up. Yung entertainment news natin about si Paulo Avellino. He has a new movie, Ang Larawan. Before, nakilala siya as the parang prince daw of mga teleserye. But now he's ventured into movies and some independent movies. And he has several projects lined up. Also, so bakit ba may mahabang holiday, mas mahaba ang holiday ng government workers and public school students? Kasi merong bagong executive order on additional holidays for them. So we will give you the details on that. So meron kayong additional na 2 araw na walang pasok. Good for those who are in government offices and public schools. Also, we have a new survey naman din on what Filipinos expect in the next 12 months, whether or not they expect their lives to be better. Alam naman natin laging ang outlook ng mga Pilipino ay laging positive. So tingnan natin kung ano yung naging resulta ng survey na yan. So We'll be right back here on Facebook Live. This is CNN Philippines News Night.
We will have that attraction every now and then to simulate the Christmas spirit. It's really how we intend to portray the exhibit, for people to enjoy the exhibit and take pictures, lots of them, bring memories with them and experience and share it with the public.
This is Newsnight on CNN Philippines. An independent survey shows nearly half of Filipinos expect their quality of life to improve in the next 12 months. The Social Weather Station survey says 47% of Filipinos are expecting improvement, while 4% expect their lives to get worse. This translates to an excellent net personal optimism score of 42. This is 2 points higher than the score in June. The survey also shows 43% expect the economy to improve, while 12% think it will deteriorate. SWS carried out the poll on September 23rd to 27th among 1,500 adults. An update now on tropical depression Urduja. It was last located 85 kilometers east of Giwan, eastern Samar, with maximum sustained winds of up to 65 kilometers per hour and gustiness of up to 90 kilometers per hour. The tropical depression is expected to make landfall in the region tomorrow morning. Weather forecasters have raised storm warning signals in some areas in Luzon and Visayas. Signal number 2 is up in eastern Samar and Biliran. Signal number 1 is up over Catanduanes, Camarines Sur, Albay, Sorsogon, Masbate, and Romblon, as well as northern Samar, Leyte, and northern Cebu, including Bantayan Island, Capiz, Aklan, and northern Iloilo. Thousands are stranded as bad weather forced the cancellation of sea travel in several ports in the Visayas and Bicol regions. Armay Rodriguez gives us a wrap of the stories from the regions.
9 towns in eastern Samar are flooded due to heavy rains triggered by tropical depression Urduja's approach. These include the towns of Kinapundan, Salcedo, Arteche, Maydolong, Llorente, Dolores, MacArthur, Giwan, and Hipapad. The national roads in Hernani town and portions of Giporlos and San Juan towns are not passable due to floods and landslides. Power was out after trees toppled transmission lines. Local officials promptly suspended classes in the provinces of eastern Visayas. Gloomy skies prevailed in Tacloban City and the rest of the region as tropical depression Urduja is expected to hit land tonight or tomorrow in the eastern Samar area. Meanwhile, the Philippine Coast Guard reports about 1,000 passengers are stranded in several ports in Bicol and the Visayas since this morning. Around 50 vessels were moored in several ports and were not allowed to sail. The Coast Guard also suspended all trips to Ormoc City and ports of Cebu. In northern Cebu, about 30 passengers were stranded At the Hagnaya Wharf, vessels in Bantayan Island were not allowed to sail due to cyclone warning signals. Still in Eastern Visayas, high school students in Samar showcased their products during the second year of the Kids Can Bazaar in Catbalogan City. Organized by the provincial government, the bazaar motivates students to become entrepreneurs. The bazaar runs until Saturday. Mai Rodriguez, CNN Philippines.
Paulo Avellino breaks down his role in his next movie, Ang Larawan. That's next here on Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. Those watching us on Facebook Live, nakita ko dito ang daming nanonood sa atin from the Middle East. We have Larry Sagaydoro watching from Damam. Tapos si Joseph Lucas, si Tonets Espina naman from UAE. Si Jojo Abul is watching from Jeddah Airport daw. Siguro pa uwi na siya ng Pilipinas at dito magpapasko. Kamusta po sa inyo dyan? Si Barista Lloydie Kisvander Weston from Saudi Arabia, Al-Khobar. And si Pepe Retreta is watching from Australia. Also, si Florita Lagunday naman is watching from Hong Kong. We're still getting a lot of reactions on the story of about former President Noynoy Aquino, who earlier faced the Senate probe on Dengvaxia. Si Reblem Otabira says they should check the clinical studies before giving the vaccines. Kawawa naman daw yung mga bata. Sabi naman ni Joseph Lucas, if Noynoy is really doing his assignment, di siya mabibigyan ng wrong information. So, in the next gap, we still have entertainment stories. Yung sinasabi natin na na-interview natin si Paulo Avellino about his new movie. Also, try to find out kung ano yung mga dagdag na holidays for next week for the Christmas and New Year. May dineclare na additional holidays for government offices and public schools. Also, may story tayo on the most searched words or phrases on Google. So alamin niyo yan dito sa Pilipinas. Ano ba yung talagang pinaka madalas sinerch ng mga tao nitong 2017. So ihahatid namin yung story na yan. And also, we have sports stories. Miko Halili will be joining us in a while. So so stay with us, and we're still live on Facebook. We have si Arman Cruz is watching from Dubai. This is Newsnight, where we go above and beyond the headlines. Welcome back. Work in government offices and classes in public schools are suspended on December 26th and January 2nd. Malacanang ordered the suspension to, quote, give employees of the government an opportunity to celebrate the holidays with their families. Suspension of work in other branches of government, independent commissions, and private companies are left to the discretion of their respective heads. December 25th and January 1st are regular holidays. It's time to check how major roads in Metro Manila are looking. Here's the latest on EDSA Guadalupe. The northbound stretch is on the right side of the screen. We're seeing heavy traffic toward Shaw Boulevard. On the left side, traffic is also building up southbound to Hilpuyat Avenue. On to Rojas Boulevard, corner Pedro Hill Street in Manila. The lanes on the right side lead to south of Baclaran. Expect moderate to heavy traffic at this time. On the left side, expect occasional stops on the intersection. Traffic slows down heading north to Luneta. It was a big year of searches for tech giant Google. Armay Rodriguez breaks that down for us in tonight's Connect.
Song lyrics and beauty pageants dominate internet searches for 2017, says Google Philippines. The tech giant's Year in Search list highlights the top trending searches in the country. The hit Spanish song Despacito topped the list, followed by Versace on the Floor. Also in the top 5, Miss Universe 2017, the online horror story of Lucia Joaquin and social media personality Xander Ford. By category, Ford and Miss Universe 2016 top 6 finalist Maxine Medina were the most searched male and female personalities. When it comes to the most searched events on the site, the Miss Universe pageant, both for 2016 and 2017, were in the top 10. In tech, Apple's iPhone 8 and 10, which were launched this year, got the attention of netizens using the search engine. Hurricane Irma, which battered parts of the U.S. state of Florida in September, came in #1 this year in worldwide searches. It was followed by Apple's newest devices, the iPhone 8 and 10. Also in the top 5, TV host Matt Lauer, who became controversial after NBC fired him over alleged sexual misconduct. Also joining the list is American actress Meghan Markle, the fiancée of Britain's Prince Harry. Stay in the loop with these stories by visiting our website at cnnphilippines.com or by following us on social media at CNN Philippines. I'm May Rodriguez.
Actor Paolo Avellino tells us the challenge he had to overcome in another period piece he's starring in. Avellino plays a struggling musician in the Metro Manila Film Fest entry Ang Larawan. He's the house guest of two sisters deciding whether to sell or keep their high-profile father's last self-portrait.
Mahirap siya because it's my first and it's out of the genre or out of the usual style that I would sing. They had to train me, Mrs. C, Mr. Kabyab's wife. I did singing lessons with her for a long time. Rehearsals also helped a lot. And also with the help of our well-respected co-actors.
Ang Larawan sings and dances its way to local theaters on December 25th. That's it for now. I'll see you again at 7. I'm Ruth Cabal in for Pia Ontiveros. Sports Desk with Miko Halili is up next.